champ is here.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble.
The champ is here. I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man
MH.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Hey, today we're bringing you back inside the locker room, and we just got to let him in, makes no, man. We coming.
Must be the money.
So yeah, man, I just want to talk about, man, he's taken college football by storm. He has told you guys that he was coming, and he's bringing his Louis with him. We ended last season with a great debate on our live show talking about, what the effects he was from him in Jackson State and, the move, and then how was he going to be? And then appropriately this season, man, it must have been just one of those things that, God was talking to us or whatever the situation was. We kind of aptly named the season we coming for our fourth season on Black in Sports Podcast, man. So without further ado, man, we want to talk about the man, Coach Prime Deion Sanders, man. So you ready to do this, MH?
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. So, man, I think I want to start really quick because our last live show, before the season starts, right? Mm-hmm. That topic came up, and we
Absolutely.
did a countdown about how many games that we think he was going to win, right? Because you hear the narrative about going from an HBCU to the Power Five, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And how they were going to perform, and there was some skeptics that said that he wasn't going to hit it, but Bobby Stills jumped out there and said 7 wins, and a lot of people were shocked, so we kind of did the countdown. So it's funny. Shout out to Bobby Stills that always jumps on the live. He sends me hey, add that to the tally after every game.
And I wasn't one that disagreed with him. I think I was probably on a Bobby's, not probably. I know I was on Bobby's same music sheet. Now, not everybody was on that same sheet, and we don't need to put out names, but they know who they were.
They were. They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, I was singing the same notes as Bobby, man. It's been a good start. We'll put it that way. It's been a really good start. At the moment we're recording this, they've had a really good start. Now, we don't know what happens for the rest of the season, but I think it's better than what people already thought it was going to be from jump. So it's a good start.
No, it's a great start, man. And especially when there's a lot of pressure. I think kind of some of the stuff that falls when he left an HBCU, right? As a people, always you have that added level of stuff that's not seen or that's not measured, but it's in the court of public opinion. And as a Black coach, right, going into a predominantly a PWI, predominantly white institution, and what he was going to be able to do. And then outside of the cultural things, right? Like, can he take a team where he brought what does he have, 70, 80 new players or something like that on the team?
Yep.
And, just all the backlash and things that come. So no, the start has truly been amazing. So,
yeah, and I think one of the things that I think we both agreed on, and others on the live maybe didn't agree on, was, a constant theme of what he's been, kind of talking about since he's been at CU has been his sons, and I thought that was a big part of the move for him. And then when I say his sons, you can throw in, Travis Hunter, who he says he loves like a son. Just from what their trajectory was, to the pros. And I'm not saying that they couldn't have done it out of HBCU, but I think there was another stage that they wanted to be on, and you can see it playing in full light now as we're looking today and at being at CU and Pac-12, and their names are synonymous with Heisman conversation, which they weren't at Jackson State. And to what he said about Shiloh. He was doing the same thing at Jackson State. You guys just didn't see it. Or didn't pay attention, or thought he was playing against lesser competition, or whatever the arguments were.
And then he comes out and stunts on him the first game.
So I think what we agreed on, a few lives, and I don't want to roll the tape, but I do want to keep the receipts, as Deion said, of how this is. But this is still a start. We got a lot of ball to play.
No, but yeah, and you do say we have a lot of ball play, but like let's give flowers where flowers are due in the beginning, right?
100%.
Because coming in and like he's taking his believe model, into this, right? Like, he believes that he's going to do this. He's empowering these kids to win, and you are seeing the dynamic that maybe something was missing from coaches to where he is embracing and teaching these kids, and like he's giving them some hard cut advice, like the interview that he did in the 60 minutes, the second 60-minute interview that he's had this year, where he was just kind of talking about why he told kids to get in the portal. He's like, sometimes people just lie to these people. People lie to kids, people lie to each other. And sometimes just that brutal honesty is going to serve you. It doesn't sound great and it doesn't seem cosmetically good at the time, but those kids going to be better off because they weren't going to get no run or no burn, and he's going to get them out of there eventually, right? So, no, man, kudos to him, his flowers for like jumping off. So, I want to get into like the real nature of it, right? So you just kind of definitely, come from a recent game. So you were there this the past game where they went 3-0, man. So, man, what do you want to share about like maybe the atmosphere, kind of going back to the game? Like, I'll just start with asking kind of like the first initial reaction getting there.
Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable. I'll put it at that. Something that I've never quite witnessed before in sport. It kind of gives me, I'm not saying goosebumps, chills, but something like that. Just a feeling of like, man, this is incredible. I've been to, I'm many of places that I have lived in my life. I'm from Colorado, so I've been extra kind of hyped about this. My wife went to CU. I've watched CU growing up. When I moved to the States from overseas, we moved to Colorado, and CU was winning national championships. I don't know if I was good enough or whatever the case is. It wasn't like I dreamed to go to CU, but CU's always kind of been in my backyard. And to see the atmosphere at Colorado, kind of like the center of the sports world, is kind of like, it's kind of crazy, to be honest. And what's even funnier about it is like, just a couple months ago, the NBA champions were out of Colorado. We're not even thinking about that. And I think that's the power of Deion. That's the power of culture. That's the power of college footballers. That's the power of a lot that says that this is the center of kind of the sports conversation right now. But unbelievable, man. Like, and I haven't been to Boulder in 10 plus years, but the city was just excited about Colorado football, and being in the stadium, I had to see everything from the warm-ups to the way they came in to how Deion's coaching. Like, I need to see everything. So I know my wife is probably irritated with me. I don't want no concessions right now. I don't need a drink. I don't need to go to the bathroom. I'll hold it. I'm trying to get in my seats and see what's going on, man. And I love her to death, so she obliged to my attitude. But man, it was just a phenomenal game. Obviously, the game turned out great.
Yo,
start to finish,
classic, right? Like, geez.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better game. It was cool, man. Colorado, we play football in Colorado, and I know a lot of the people that were playing in that game, both from Colorado and Colorado State, are not necessarily from Colorado. But it was kind of cool to see the center of football world focused on Colorado and Colorado football. And I'm not just saying Colorado, University of Colorado, just talking about the state in general. Yeah, it was still electric, bro. Electric.
Yeah, so really quick on that, man. Like, there was a lot of things, right, that were kind of going on at that time. Is game day was there. Like, college game day was definitely in the building and had to add. And it was just funny that they were talking about how it just made it for a very long day for a lot of people because, college game day is just something that, especially as a fan, college student or whatever, you want to go down and be around that. And then for them to be that hype and be, while they're filming, putting your little signs and things up, and then going to a game that went into double overtime. Like, was a very long day, but like people were there for it, man, and energized through the whole thing. So I know that had to be part of it. And you're right, everybody was talking about that game. Like that was the game of the week. So it was, like you said, football world was kind of all on the eyes of Colorado, and it's good, to take a quick step back, and then we'll get into it. Two black head coaches, right?
Right.
Now, of course, you hate that it had to be a little bit of beef, so I'm glad it kind of, but it just adds to the kind of like the showmanship of, bringing that attention to that game.
Yeah, and it's funny that we say that game, because I think the game turned out great, and it, lived up to the hype of the game, which was incredible. But a lot of things that happened even before kickoff that had nothing to do with X's and O's in football, which is crazy, right? You got first take, and then obviously there's conversation, and we'll get into it about, what Coach Norville said or didn't say, or whatever the case is. And then you got everybody from Master P to
Kawhi Leonard
to
Coach Lou, the dude, the internet coach
Lou Young. It's just Desi over there, like everybody, bro, like legit everybody. And they're not just over there; they like in CU gear. Like it's like Lil
Tucci got a jersey, and
custom jersey.
And Rock is giving the halftime speech, or like where did Rock come in? Was he originally from Colorado? Like, how did I miss that? I thought he was
but Thursday night, leading up to the game, he came back to SmackDown to WWE. He made his return appearance, and maybe because that's the writers are on strike, and that's a whole nother different conversation. But he kind of made his return to wrestling, and that was in Denver, at the time. So like, it was just crazy what was going on in
perfect storm, man,
in Colorado that weekend. Had nothing to do with the football, but it was just really entertaining.
And then did you see from the time let's say you kind of got into the city or airport or whatever, did you see Deion like imprint on the city, right? Like, did you see, because you like you said, you grew up there, you played ball there, like, so you spent some time there. So this is like just a couple more black folks than the normal you would see out and about. Like, how, like, just what was that kind of atmosphere kind of going into the city and around the city?
Yeah, I mean, there's black folk in Colorado, so for people that there's a few of us. But most of the time it's in Denver, right? And there's some parts in Denver where there's most of black folk. It's not in Boulder. Let's just be real. Like, there's no black folk
at all in Boulder. Correct.
So going up to Boulder, I thought it was different from just the atmosphere. Like you'll see, athletes. The parents of athletes, maybe the aunties, not just regular like Negroes just there. Like, yeah, I'm going. That's not usually the vibe from CU football in Boulder, but it was a lot of that. And he's changed even, I don't know if it's concessions or the tailgate stuff that was around there, or some decent barbecue. That was new to me. That hasn't, from what I've seen, I think, and my wife can attest to it. She went to the university. We old now, so maybe they stepped up in our time being gone, but it was good food. I'm not going to disrespect the HBCU atmosphere, but there was a little slash of that HBCU family reunion type at some of the parking lots, and then you still had your, young folks doing tailgate stuff.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I think it was nephew or someone that's been on the show. They send us stuff. And someone's like, "Are you hearing about how they're calling Colorado the new HBCU?"
Yeah, not quite. They got to get the rest of the city going. They got to be some like random parade for it to officially be an HBCU. Because these HBCUs, boy, they throwing parades at all time.
Battle of the Band and like it's Tuesday parade and all of that stuff, right?
Talking about they throwing something out every all week. So I don't think it's quite there yet, but there's some. I
did see a parade though. I did see this. What they talk about a parade that game day. So I don't know if that was before or after the game, but they did have a parade. So they slowly checking off those check marks.
We just need an overweight individual on a little horse, and that will put
that's the key.
Cherry on top. That's the key. a big uncle on a horse he don't know he don't need to be on.
That's what's up.
But no, I mean, there's a family reunion type vibe to it. That I just haven't seen at Colorado football and haven't seen in a while. So it was dope.
All right, so definitely, iterations and some changes, right? So he has new theme music, and I don't think it's like maybe dropping. I could have the wrong one, but comparing theme music, like just kind of, what are your thoughts on the theme songs from what he started with and what he has right now? Should we play a little? Let's play a quick sample, man.
Go ahead and play the sample.
Get the fuck
out. Now I'm gonna see. I think I got this stuff loaded.
Ready? Who ready? Well, give me my darn theme music then, DJ.
So this is the new theme music. So he's teaching what to do with it. So, when we laughing, right, we're talking about kind of like the little HBCU feel, he got the band into it, right? Like,
yeah, and they
so a little bit of that feel, right?
A little bit. They got to get to the transfer portal with band members too, if they want. If they want it to really hit the way they were, he got to dip into that transfer portal too.
Got to get that going. But so that's the new, right? And like, I get what he's doing because it's more custom, right? He included the band, right? He's got some of the beat of like the drum majors and things like that. But it's nothing like when he goes,
"Give me my theme music."
Not quite.
Not quite, right? Like, so I get the path, right? I just it like before, but did they play both? Like, what was the music like that they were playing? Like warm up and just kind of just the whole vibe of the whole stadium.
They hit it all, right? And if they didn't hit it on the field, I just seeing the footage that we've seen, he hit it in the locker room when they got like a little club in there. So I'm sure the team got both vibes, but no, they played Mystical in the stadium. They played him too. It was a vibe, man. It was a vibe. It was a vibe. It was for real. Like, I haven't got to the point in a very long time where I'm like, damn, I got one more, bro. Like, let me get some pass. I got one more rep, right?
You didn't say season. You said rep.
I just think I got one more rep because we can get it. Because we had and shout out to some of the plugs. So like, thank you, and obviously my wife too. We had some really really decent places to visit. View the game. And so when the game ended, CU won. We was all happy. There was a little bit of me. Oh, I was close.
Oh, come on, you didn't rush the field.
I'll post the video on social so people can see it. I thought about it a little too much, right?
You should have just went reactive. You started thinking.
I started thinking, and I looked at somebody that looked about my age, and it didn't like he was getting up as springful as the kids were. So I'm like, yeah, I can't go back to work, on Monday with a broke ankle because I tried to rush the field.
The field, turn your ankle.
Yeah, it was a good about 8-foot drop there. So it wasn't like I was stepping over a curve. So it would have took some, and then you got to look athletic doing. You can't climb down by pieces. They're like, man, just stay up in this. If you got to climb down like that,
then stay up there.
Just stay up there, man. Just take a picture, bro. So I did. I just took a picture, but no, it was fine. It was fine.
So most celebrities all on the sidelines, like, or were just a local? Because like Cameron was there too. Now that I think about it, Cam was there. Was Snoop there? Like, I thought I saw Snoop. I don't know. He was talking about it at some point.
Did we say
Master P? We did not see. We didn't say Percy. He was there. So were they on the sidelines, or did they get like a rotation on the sidelines, and then they were in the seat, or just?
And maybe that's part of the HBCU vibe because there's not a lot of room on the sidelines.
And all of them was on the
at Folsom Field. They had a little bit of a Pop Warner Field where, like, dudes in the back of the end zone. I'm like,
right. Like, you gotta.
And what's funny about it, I do know. I would have to think that people that his job are running social and the accounts for the Colorado Buffaloes and CU football. They gotta be like, on one end, they gotta be excited, like, man, like, our channel is popular, but on the other end, they gotta be like, golly, bro, like, can you get these people with the iMovies out the way? Because everybody at coin toss like this. Just I'm talking. I'm talking about like 10 dudes out there at coin toss just with their phone. Just
the phones. They're like, if y'all get your ass out here.
Just random credential, no credential, just, so.
And then you got to think of all those people that were celebrities have someone video or like content.
They have their own team, right? So you can imagine what that sideline looked like, bro. It's unbelievable.
We're going to cut down on the press passes for this.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it for USC because USC travels with their own.
They hold.
So
right.
I don't know if Folsom Field can handle that. They might figure something out pretty quickly here.
So quick things into the numbers, that's my lane, and we just gotta talk about it. But I'm not gonna spend too much time because it's gonna come up and just throughout the conversation, and they're not finished yet. But I'm just talking about the cost of a ticket going from like almost $100 to $500 now. As they're doing the average. He sold like 1.4 million in those shades and those glasses that he partnered up with the company about. Then they talked about Shador's NIL deal with like Maybach or something like that. And you see Toyota Tundra everywhere. So like the money's flowing in. The money is definitely flowing in. And I've dubbed it the prime effect because it's happening on like so many levels. They even talk about like how they've changed the food, not only in the cafeteria or the restaurants on campus, but some of the other the off-campus places are starting to change that food to kind of, prepare for the influx of people that are coming in.
Negroes.
Yeah. That part. So then the prime effect is definitely happening, man. So going into that, it's not monetary, but it's something I have to ask you. Because you are our popcorn expert. Did you have popcorn while you were there? Please tell me.
Yeah, Prime must not be a popcorn fan because I was very disappointed in full.
They didn't have any?
They had some.
But it was just not.
It just wasn't hitting, man. It wasn't. I didn't get that burn
in the corner.
Yeah, but I didn't get that salt burn.
That's a shame.
Prime hasn't had popcorn. Maybe he doesn't like popcorn because that was not to standard.
But see, that's the thing, man. Because Prime is like a guy who tells you to go get your popcorn, right? Because he's gonna have some action. So maybe he just hasn't got to that part yet. Maybe we need to give him that feedback, that comment.
Yeah, he hadn't touched that yet because it wasn't hitting the way it should. I can tell you that.
That's what's up.
No, but to your point, Rick George has to be the happiest man on this planet. If we don't know who Rick George is, athletic director for University of Colorado. So he has to be the.
You see how you hugged him after the first game? Hey, I'm sorry. I probably the way you hugged that in the first game.
During college games, they have different promos and they award different teams and they give the 1981 field hockey team. They just do different stuff during college games. This boy was smiling so big. Every picture, I'm talking. That man is the happiest man in America. I'm telling you. No doubt about it. He's the happiest man in America. And,
so if DirecTV took the biggest loss of the year, he's got the biggest win so far.
Oh, man, that dude's got the trophy. MVP, LeBron James out there. That dude is the happiest dude. No lie. Because it's helped all the sports. You can, if you're a CU basketball recruit, Tad Boyle used to coach at Northern Colorado, but I'm sure he's talking to his 4 or 5 star kind of recruits like, hey, let's do your recruiting visit this week, right? Where USC come and we'll have you on the sideline during the football game. And I'm sure it's the same that for the women's basketball team or whoever else athletes trying to get there. The enrollment, they had a big thing like, become a full-time student at CU that rolled across the thing. And shoot, even me, I was like, dang, I think I got a couple more credits I can get to some degree.
Or you're like, hey, get an advanced degree, man. Get a little, get an executive MBA in that bitch or something like that, man. But no, and like, so that kind of goes back into the money thing, right? Like, enrollment's going to go up, right? Because that's a whole vibe that you want to go there. And the shit was so funny watching the game from home is, how like they always do those college commercials, like get a great education at Kellogg University.
Yeah.
See yourself as a Gator, home is where the heart, that bullshit. They came straight up like, hey, want to come to Boulder? Prime location, prime this, prime. I'm like, wow, the prime effect is really, but they know what they got and run with that shit, man.
They do. What I'm really interested in, in watching the Netflix piece of it, and that leads a little bit into Shador a little bit. But watching the Netflix special on Johnny Manziel and his untold story. Yeah. And how they Texas A&M basically built onto the stadium to accommodate, the fans and everything and all the money that was brought in. I can really see that happening for CU like really soon because I was watching the game, talking to my wife, and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna need to upgrade this,
because they sold out, right? It's been this; they're all sold out stuff. So, what is the capacity? Do you know, rough hand, and it doesn't matter. We'll post.
I don't know. We can look it up, but I would say something 35 to 40. It's not, but
it was packed though.
Oh, to the brim, like you couldn't packed. Like every seat, legit.
And that's when they're gonna find out, like, okay, let's call XYZ company and see if we can put some more stands over here in this corner stand and call it something else. Those
they'll have some load seats somewhere.
Right. They're gonna figure something out. Yeah. That whole hill right there, they could dig that up and put some shit in that end zone quick, fast in a hurry.
We'll paint something else there, but we're gonna have to put some seats there here soon. No, I was just looking at the layout of the stadium, and not that I know architecture and what that would take, but I'm like, yeah, they got another 5,000 to 10,000 that they can kind of work in here somehow and they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to if Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, because I don't think, and maybe they don't care. But I don't think they want their, common ticket to be $600, right? I think they will want it to come down a little bit and kind of add some inventory for them.
Especially when you think college games, right? You already lose a certain amount to the band, right? Like we're gonna start. Hey, listen, the band gonna have to come. We're gonna have to put them out. They're gonna have to watch it somewhere else, and we bring them in because that's a large section of people that you would charge those tickets to. So it's going to be interesting to see how that changes. And that's a great point to make.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're not a show that talks sports. Like we talk about the culture and everything around it, but we have to talk about the play on the field for these cats, man. So who do you want to start with, man? I mean, it's the triplets that I think you start with. Like I got love for, the two running backs, man. I think they're great. I'm trying to think of the other DB. But just give me your kind of your coach's corner of some of the play.
So here's a little shot to CSU, and I should have their names, but I'm actually gonna pull their names up. Number 14, we're gonna pull his name. Number 15 or number 5, I'm sorry. Quarterback and the quarterback from CSU. The reason why when I went into the game. And we already know what the spread was. And then all the TV people were saying Colorado's will win by 50 or 60 and all that kind of stuff. And I never really thought that because if being a player on a team that wasn't expected of much, I know if all those lights are around me, this is my one opportunity. If I'm a CSU Ram to show, hey, everybody's going to be watching this game. They're going to at least say, hey, who that dude from CSU? He was giving it to them. And I guarantee CSU will have 2 people drafted in the next draft because of that game. I 100%. The wide receiver and the tight end, they will be drafted in the NFL draft because of that game. So they should go give Deion a hug, too, for all the attention. Not just his team, but for a school like Colorado State that doesn't typically have multiple guys in the NFL. I think they got some NFL guys on their roster, at least 3 of them. Kamara, too, the defensive end.
He's a beast.
We don't know who Kamara is if you're not in that world,
right?
But you know who he is now, right? And so, So for them, I think it was beneficial. First takeaway I had, and this is a little takeaway, was about Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is legit, and he's legit for a lot of different reasons to me. First reason, he's a lot bigger than what I thought he was. I don't think TV does justice for his overall stature and size. He's 6'2", but I can say he's probably 6'2 and a half. He holds his weight, pretty solidly. He's built correctly. Travis Hunter also. He's a skinny dude, but he's a long dude. You can see where he can probably put on 15 to 20 pounds and wouldn't mess with his frame. His frame is built for that. Kamarni McClain, who hasn't played yet, who's the 5-star, the best corner in this class that just came in, who hasn't really played yet. From just his stature alone, I can see why he's legitimate. And then I think Xavier Weaver, number 10 for Colorado, wide receiver, I think he's legit. And shout out to Shiloh, who got the pick 6, which was a dope to see.
Because his dad got hyped for him too, running with his 8 toes down.
It was
down the sideline.
It was dope to see. And then he shout out to HBCUs because he does the drum major thing all the time now. That's like his little celebration. So it was dope to see him. But no, for real, Shedeur, legit. I think Xavier Weaver, the wide receiver, legit. Travis Hunter, unfortunately, we didn't get to see much of him because he got hit. He's also legit. I don't think Colorado, this is why I think they're good.
Okay.
But I don't think they don't have the guy where you're like, yeah, that's an NFL first round guy. I didn't see any of that outside of maybe Shedeur and Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Outside
Nowhere
of that,
else.
I didn't see. I wasn't overly impressed with the wide receivers. They don't have a Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that guy where you no doubt this dude is a top 15 player, and then they don't have that player. So for all the noise that happening about what Shedeur isn't and what he's not, it's not like he's throwing to Marvin Harrison, Jr. Right? You know what I'm saying? He's making he's elevating the play of his wide receivers, which why I think that he is legitimate. So that was my number one takeaway, is that dude is legit, and I wouldn't mind seeing him here at some point.
All right. So way too far ahead, but how long do you think? How long do they stay? How long before they come out?
So you saw the video today. Well, today we were recording, and he said the video. Well, looked like they were in the box of the Broncos game, and Shiloh was like, "Oh, we'll be playing these dudes next year." And then Deion looked at them like, "Next year? No,
next year, correct?
Yeah, y'all gonna be back at CU." Which I thought that was the case anyway. If you're Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh's different, I think he's a really good college player. He could be a pro, but I don't think he's upper echelon. I think he's just a really good college football player, potentially pro. So he should want to come back. If I'm Shedeur Sanders, I think Shedeur Sanders right now is number 2 athlete in Colorado, in the state of Colorado. And I only put him number 2 behind multiple time MVP Jokic. I can't quite make hhim jump that. But right now in Colorado, the way the crowd reacted to him, everybody was throwing up just Shedeur. Shout out to Rick Ross. The way he was moving within that, that, the way the atmosphere is kind of around him, I don't think it gets better for him in the pros. It's somewhere. It's maybe not nation big now, or it's somewhere near what Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, that kind of hype. I really feel that energy. Why would he leave that? All those dudes came back. Johnny Manziel got out of it when it was just I can't do it no more. And Tim Tebow came back as well. So I don't know if it helps him in the long run, but I don't see why he would leave right now.
NIL wise, they're doing KFC commercials.
And he's not hurting for money. It's different from that time. He's definitely He's putting the Rolex in people's faces, right? So like
in their faces, like diamond crusted up, like ridiculous.
he's talking about Maybachs on podcasts, right? So like I don't think he's necessarily hurting, and he came for money. So I think he plays with his dad for as long as he can, eligibility wise, and then when it's time to go be a pro, he'll go be a pro. But I think he is that guy. It's not just Deion hyping his son up. I think he's legit.
I mean, these numbers are showing some of that too. So
I think he leads, if not number one, he's top 2 or 3 in the nation in passing right now. So passing yards. So yeah, he's that guy.
I love it, man. Well, no, this is not going to be the last time, man. We talk about Deion, man. It's just great to see it. You know, all of the stuff that comes with it, man. I think it's all, great because it's bringing college football, into a great spotlight to where, unfortunately, because of the shield, they don't have as many spots as they used to have. And I think we've talked about it plenty of times on the show, or maybe just off camera. Is like Thursday night used to be like college football night, right? Where you could really like get anything from, the MAC teams and just like different teams that you could like look at, and, you're really focused on what they were doing on Saturday, and Saturday's still theirs, but the season's so quick. The way that the rankings are, like 1 or 2 losses, you're really starting to like lose what teams are doing, man. So I love the focus that they're bringing on college football, because while you're waiting to watch this game or another game, it just kind of brings that interest back. So definitely excited about that, and what they're doing, and just really hope for him and wish for him continued success, man. Final thoughts, MH?
I want to give love to Deion Sanders, and I say Deion Sanders because, in a way, I think because we actually call him Coach Prime, it minimizes what he is and who he is in a way. And I guess it really says who he is, because we don't call him Coach Sanders. We don't say Deion Sanders. We literally call this man Coach Prime. Like that's official. Like that's some birth certificate.
Like that's a government. Nigga. Like you don't sign that none of your checks.
We call this man Coach Prime.
Mama call you Clay. I'm gonna call you Clay, nigga. Like
we legit call this man Coach Prime, which is crazy. But in a way, to me, it like minimizes his success. This is Deion Sanders is probably if not like it's the same kind of level of, a little less than Michael Jordan was in his time of playing. This dude was.
I think he's on a whole nother level.
Maybe he is. I mean, like maybe he's on a level. This dude was probably going to be the MVP of the World Series if the Braves would have won. He had MC. I mean, he was prime time, so probably the most popular player in NFL, playing the cornerback position in the 90s, right? Like, changed the whole game, had MC Hammer on the style. Like, this is Deion Sanders. And for Deion Sanders to morph his whole career into being a college football coach, it's like unbelievable. If you just kind of really think about what he is. Can you imagine Michael Jordan just being on the sideline coaching?
Michael Jordan couldn't coach nobody else because like they're not on his because like there's a game.
Nobody's on Deion's level either. Can you imagine Michael Jordan coaching the Tar Heels?
Everybody be the transfer portal. Everybody will be in the transfer portal.
Like really think about that. I'm interested to see like what LeBron does, but this is like LeBron James in this generation. If LeBron James were to say, "Hey, in the next 15 years, I'm going to be coaching basketball at Clemson University," right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why I say Clemson, but just something random.
Right.
I think it's on that level of like, yo, we forget that this was like Deion Sanders. I wore 21 as a kid because Deion. I wore sleeves outside with wristbands, a turtleneck before the Under Armour made was to be like some heat. I was wearing a big turtleneck outside in the summer because I wanted to be prime. Like
with the bandana with no hair. Did you do
my
bandana?
mom wouldn't let me do the bandana. She's like, I'm good on that. But I sure did try to have the headband around my neck like he used to have. Like so, like all that kind of stuff, man. Like this is Deion, and he's like a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but the thing is, though, he's created this persona from day one though. Like this is not like I know I get where you're saying where it's kind of like it kind of takes away from him, but it's like that is who he created, man. Like he created Prime like right off the draft. You know what I mean? Like you can't afford me. Like you don't pick me because you can't afford me, right? Like that's how he started off. And then I mean he's like that's his persona, right? Like he the man had a rap album, he played baseball, played football. In football, he played all three positions, right? So he played offense, defense, and special teams. Hell of a kick returner. It became where he was a kick returner, cold kick returner, right? Did I say baseball already?
Yeah.
Then he's an entertainer playing. Then he went and commentated, right? So he was on, the air commentating, and then he's like, I'm for a while.
And he had a whole little segment, 21 Reasons, where you ball, you get the call. I watched
you get the call.
Leon Sandcastle. This is like, when he was doing the whole combine promos. Like this is Deion. And then he was coaching the Under Armour teams like way back in the day too.
He coached the Pro Bowl. He coached the Pro Bowl against Jerry Rice. Like this is just him, man. Like
he is him.
He is him.
So like, why? I mean, I shouldn't say that. Sound like I was give this man praise. I'm about to raise an offer for him. But why wouldn't we think this dude's gonna be successful? Is what I'm saying. This dude's been successful in anything else. He's been successful.
Because we're a culture that just don't want to see that, right? Like no person's supposed to have that much success in so many things, right? Like seeing Jordan fell at baseball made a lot of people happy, right? Like you can't dominate me on the court and then go do that shit, right? So
he is what Kanye think he is what Deion is. Legit.
There you go. But no, man, that's a great point, man. And like I just said, it's good to give him his flowers. We hope we continue to see the success. And who knows, like, if there is another chapter, right? Because, like, of course, if the dominance kind of happens here, is it another school? Is it ultimately going to the NFL?
I don't see that. And maybe that's just the Colorado that don't want me to see it.
Yeah, just like Jackson Satan didn't want to see it either.
Yeah, and maybe it's that. But I truly don't see that because why can't he make Colorado whatever he wants to make? He is University of Colorado right now. So why would he need to do that at somewhere else? I don't know, personally. Everybody's talking about Texas A&M. Unless Jerry Jones is like, hey, bro, I'll make you the star, then I don't know if he turns that down, even though he said he don't want to coach in the pros. That's the only move that I can see happening. Outside of that, nah, he'll be at CU. At least I hope so.
I don't know, because you know him.
2 years, man. 2 years. 2 years.
No.
Not this year. Next year, University of Colorado will win a national championship.
That's what you calling? You gonna give us a Charles Barkley on that?
Book it. Guarantee. They're gonna win a national championship. Not this year. They're not ready for it next year. Shedeur will be back. Travis Hunter will be another year older. They'll get some real 5-star receivers. They'll get another recruiting class. Yeah.
They need some linemen. They need some beef too.
They will win in the year. Guarantee. Wow. Next year they'll be national champions, and I'm gonna be there.
There it is. Hopefully we live by then.
They're gonna be in Vegas too this year, baby. Pac-12 championship. Come on out.
Oh yeah, there you go. Now that'd be definitely dope. We got to figure that one out.
Yeah, we do. Come on, Deion. Let's make it.
Let's make it. All right, man. Anything else for the people?
Nah.
All right, man. Well, hey, we hope you enjoyed the show. It's no more we coming. We here. So please check us out, man. Every Thursday we drop a new episode. The live usually happens every month. So if you want to get on that, please reach out to us on our social.
We kept receipts. We kept receipts of who you were. We kept those receipts. We can run it back.
So we're definitely getting called out, man. So please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody black. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look, to me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new raps. To me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.